Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome back to the channel. If you're a Red Sox fan, buckle up because today we're talking about one of the absolute wildest trade rumor storms we've seen around this franchise in months. There are names being tossed around everywhere, some surprising, some controversial, and a couple that could totally reshape the 2026 season for Boston. We've got two big potential trade candidates, plenty of insider buzz, and some reasons to believe that while Boston's roster looks strong on paper, big pieces could move before the season really kicks into gear. Before we jump in, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button if you love deep MLB news content, smash that like button if you want more Red Sox trade breakdowns, and drop a comment early on who do you think gets traded this year? Let's get into it. Alright, first let's set the scene. The 2026 Red Sox roster has taken quite a few interesting shape changes over the last year. Boston's pitching rotation is stronger than it's been in a long time. They brought in heavy hitters like Sonny Gray and signed solid contracts to lock down key arms. That's given them a real backbone and a lot of confidence going into this season. But while the pitching looks stout, the lineup has been a constant topic of conversation, and that's where most of the trade buzz starts. And when I say buzz, I mean trade rumor machines firing on all cylinders. One of the hottest names being linked to potential deals? Wiley or Brew. According to multiple MLB insiders, the Philadelphia Phillies in particular have been circling a Brew as a trade target. They're looking for outfield help, and while a Brew isn't a superstar by the definition of someone like a Soto or Trout, he's a solid, cost-effective bat who could fill a real need for them. The Phillies reportedly see him as a potential upgrade over their current outfield options, and that means Boston could find itself entertaining offers that might make sense if they can improve other areas of the roster in return. Now here's where it gets really interesting. The reason Abreu's name keeps popping up in rumors isn't just because he can hit, it's also because the Red Sox have so much outfield depth right now that some smart general managers around the league think they could pry him loose. But remember, having depth doesn't always mean you should trade a player like Wiley. He's young, controllable, and can be a real spark plug in that lineup. The Red Sox front office has a tough decision ahead: keep the talent and roll with it, or flip strength in one area for depth in another. One big question surrounding any potential trade is whether Boston would even listen on someone like a Brew. From what beat writers and insiders have relayed, the Sox are definitely fielding calls, but they aren't desperate sellers. They're being strategic, looking for win-win situations that improve the ball club without hurting overall competitiveness. Speaking of big names, let's pivot to the second major trade candidate that's been getting a ton of buzz, Jiren Duran. Duran's name has been in trade talks for quite a while now, and there's a pretty good reason for that. He's the kind of athlete every general manager dreams of: speed, defense, hustle, and constant base-running pressure that changes games. His value isn't just in what he does statistically but in how he impacts the dynamic of a lineup. And that's a huge reason teams have called about him. But Duran isn't exactly immersed in trade rumors the way players like Juan Soto or Bryce Harper might be. Instead, it's more like a constant undercurrent every few weeks. There's another someone could make a push for Duran article or insider whisper. From Padres to other contenders looking to bolster speed and offense, there are teams willing to talk. The catch for Boston? They're reportedly holding out for a significant return, something that could genuinely help the team in areas they need to improve, like adding a right-handed power bat or solidifying the infield. That's the angle a lot of insiders are taking right now. Boston wants value back. Not prospects that sit in the minors for years, but players that can contribute immediately. But here's where it gets sticky. The trade market this year, especially for position players, has been surprisingly cool. Teams aren't burning the phone lines making big offers unless they feel absolutely certain. So Boston might be in a holding pattern, waiting to see if interest in Duran turns into something real. Now, at this point you might be thinking, okay, we've got two big names, Brew and Duran. But why would Boston actually trade either of them? Good question. The short answer is roster flexibility. Boston's lineup has a lot of moving parts, and while youth and depth are fantastic, there's still a question about whether this lineup has enough elite pop to compete deep into October. Depth is great, but elite impact players are what win pennants. So the Red Sox front office might be thinking that flipping depth for impact additions, whether that's pitching, defense, or a difference-making bat, could be worth it. Now I want you to picture this. A hypothetical deal packages a Brew and a prospect or two to a contending club in exchange for a proven hitter or an ace-type arm. That's the kind of package that gets fans talking, the kind that can legitimately flip a lineup from good to scary good. And yes, we've seen rumblings all offseason that Boston is listening to trade ideas that involve more than just depth players. They're looking to move the needle. That isn't typical offseason chatter, that's front office strategy. On the other hand, don't discount the risk. If the Red Sox trade a Brew or Duran and the return doesn't pan out, Boston could find itself short on offense or outfield depth. We saw how that kind of scenario played out in past years when teams traded a popular homegrown piece and fans felt like the roster took a step back. So there's real pressure on the Red Sox decision makers to get the balance right. At the same time, this isn't just Red Sox Bay talk. Across the league, there's chatter about Boston being a willing participant in trade discussions. Teams down in the division know that the Sox rotation is legitimate, and some of them might be tempted to make offers that have impact written all over them. If those offers come, Boston might be ready to answer the phone. Now let's talk timing. Trade rumors always ramp up around spring training, and especially as the official trade deadline nears. We're in that window enough time for teams to evaluate their rosters, but early enough that moves can still change a team's trajectory for the season. Scouts and front offices are already reporting back from workouts. They're comparing final projections and talking about how their teams might need specific types of players. That's exactly the kind of environment where a team like the Red Sox could get real trade leverage. If another club is struggling in a key area and Boston has the answer in one of its surplus players, that's leverage and that's value. And remember, it doesn't always have to be a straight player trade. Boston could engage in multi-team deals where pieces get swapped around to fill specific needs for all the teams involved. Those kinds of deals are complicated, but they're also where some of the most impactful trades in MLB happen because everyone walks away with something they need. So let's boil this down real quick. If the Red Sox actually make a shocking trade this offseason or before the deadline, the two names most likely to be involved based on current chatter are Brew and Jiren Duran. Would it surprise anyone if Boston dealt one of those guys in exchange for a bat with more power or a starter who can take pressure off the rotation? Absolutely not. Would it piss off some fans? You bet. But since when has baseball been about not making bold decisions? Before I wrap this up, here's what I want you all to think about as you watch the season unfold. If Boston stays patient, they could turn a smart trade into real contention firepower. But patience can only last so long, especially in a league where every team is jockeying for position and the real deadline pressure is approaching fast. If Boston makes that blockbuster trade, it could alter not just the 2026 season, but the way this franchise is viewed for years to come. That's why these rumors are so compelling and why fans are glued to every insider whisper. So now it's your turn. Drop a comment below with who you think gets traded this year and what return package would make it worth it for Boston. Also make sure you're subscribed with notifications on, because as soon as something breaks you know we'll cover it first, right here. Thanks for watching, and as always, until next time, stay tuned, stay passionate, and go Sox.